Now, the National Investigating Agency has arrested a Faridabad resident for harboring terrorist Umar Nabi immediately before the Delhi terror bomb blast. Soyab of the Hoj, Faridabad, is the 7th accused to be arrested in the case. NIA earlier arrested 6 other key aides of the car bomber Umar over the course of its investigation. The agency continues to pursue various leads in connection with the suicide bombing and has been conducting searches across states in coordination with the respective police forces in a bid to identify and track others involved in the gruesome attack. Efforts to unravel the entire conspiracy behind the deadly terror attack are continuing. And now, of course, I have my colleague Arzu Zaid joining me with more details. Arzu, what more can you tell us?
Well, yes, there is now the National Investigation Agency has made the 7th arrest in the car terror blast case that took place near the Delhi's Red Fort, and the men who provided logistical support and the shelter to the terrorist Umar Nabi has been arrested. The arrested accused Shoaib is the resident of Faridabad, and the NIA has arrested Shoaib, the a resident of Hoj, Faridabad, Haryana, for allegedly providing shelter to the terrorist Umar Nabi just before the terror blast in Delhi. Also, he is the 7th accused to be arrested in the case. Also, according to the NIA investigation, Shoaib not only gave Umar a place to stay, but also provided him with logistical support ahead of the 10th November, car blast that took the life of the many and left several injured at the Red Fort. Also, the explosion claimed several lives, and also the NIA had earlier arrested 6 close associates of the Umar in this case. Yes.
All right, Arzu, stay on with me. And now I have my guest joining me on the broadcast, Major General A.K. Sivaj, former Chief of Territorial Army and Senior Defence Expert. I also have Mr. Sanjay Sahai, former IPS officer, also joining me on the broadcast. I'd like to first go across to Major General A.K. Sivaj, former Chief of Territorial Army. Now, Mr. Sivaj, the first point that I want to make here is that, terrorists have worked well in this corrupt ecosystem. What do you have to say on that?
No doubt. You see, white-collar terror ecosystem which is being now unrevealed. We always thought that terrorism is associated with those who are slightly illiterate and also those who are unprivileged society. But this has shaken up our faith, because we always thought doctors are the respected people in the society and they are least suspected. People think the doctors give life to the people, not take life from them. So this has really, shaken up the whole nation. But now 3-4 things stands out in this. The point is this module which was functioning, whatever we have unrevealed, it is a tip in iceberg. But once you will start now inquiring, NIA is already at the job, you will find it a lot of overground worker and sleeper cell also will be arrested, and you will find that they have association or they are controlled from Turkey as well as from Pakistan. The Ukasa who was sitting in Turkey and giving them order is also one of the handler, and he's subsequently handled by ISI sitting in Pakistan. So all this module which has now come out and which is still at a very infant stage, you will find it, a lot of things will come out. But to me it looks like that, AlFalah University is seemingly looks to be a nursery of terrorism. How come we have never able to suspect it? There is a rumor, or there is also a news that some madrassa was also there, which was approximately 3 to 4 meters under the ground. So the point which is coming is, one after the other incident which are unrevealing are very surprisingly. But one should say that NIA had done a good job, that there have been no major incident after 2014 in India, and the credit goes to intelligence, because there was a coordination cooperation at the center and state level, and the real-time intelligence was passed horizontally and vertically. But in this case, I still feel we have lacked that. After we have managed to arrest Mujamil, Adil and Shaheen, and this Umar Nabi managed to escape, we should have managed to get him at the earliest, because 10 days thereafter, he has committed such a horrendous crime by blasting himself and killing more than 12 people. It was avoidable. To me, it looked like that if our int agency would have been much more proactive, because he was gone nowhere else. He was in Nu and he was giving a logistics support by this compounder in AlFalah University, which is Soyab. So overall, I feel that situation seemingly looks to be under control. NIA is going in a professional manner, and they will able to unreveal a lot of things, and you will find it that when the complete investigation will be over, certain things which will come out will surprise everyone.
All right, now before I go across to my next guest, viewers, I have to remind you today of the date. It is November 26. And remember 2008. How did we so easily forget the Mumbai terror attack? This continues to happen. People continue to lose their lives. It's extremely unfortunate. And I want to go across to Mr. Sanjay Sahai. Mr. Sahai, now why I've particularly mentioned this date, there's of course a reason for that. You know, the first module was able to lay their hands easily on explosive sources from Nu and adjoining areas like Saharanpur. And in fact, in 2012, an organization called PESO had of course laid a guideline down that the sale of ammonium nitrate after it was used in 2011 is of course banned and it should not be easily available. What do you have to say for that?
Now that we are remembering 26/11, let me tell you that I was in the government at that particular point in time, and it took a huge amount of time to buy even bulletproof vests. So that is where we stand, and that is how the governments work. So fast forward to 2025. Ammonium nitrate guidelines certainly is not being followed. What is very, very strange is that when you break up any guidelines and the enforcement mechanism, and these people are experts in understanding the enforcement mechanism, they will try and gather all this material in a manner which the enforcement agencies will not even have an iota of doubt. The general understanding is, and the understanding is pretty right as well, that the enforcement agencies, they do not create patterns, they don't get into connects, and they have literally no intelligence but for enforcing whatever is laid in front of them. AlFalah University, if you are talking about ammonium nitrate, we know how it has been sourced in small pieces and finally it is brought to 3000 kgs. What has been actually been seized, we don't know if there is much more in the offing. We have absolutely no idea. As far as AlFalah University is concerned, now I think we are convinced of the fact that, as the earlier panelist was talking about, that it is a nursery of terrorism. Let me tell you now, the AlFalah University and every single faculty who is working out there or anybody associated there for 5-10 years, they should be forced to prove that they are not a part of this terror mechanism, because there is absolutely no other way out. And it is not limited to AlFalah. You talk of Dhauj, you talk of Nu, you talk of that complete area, I think going up to Saharanpur and adjoining areas, at least as far as 10-20 kilometers radius of AlFalah, it is a very conducive ecosystem which has been created. Now, talking about the intelligence part of it, I'm not getting into the intelligence part of it, because over and over again we have said that every single incident of terrorism which has happened in this particular country since 2008. So there have been issues where it has started with intelligence failure. We talk of David Headley, we talk of 1993, we talk of 26/11. So whatever it might be. So these things have happened all throughout. Now we come to exactly this particular module, 30th or 31st of October, whenever this particular situation has transpired. From that point in time, Umar was known. And when Umar was known, and his movements would go to somewhere near Faridabad, and they were trying, as the work was going on, they were trying to find the link moving on to Faridabad. So that is one part of the story, that he was not being able to nap. And when the seizures started, or seizures were done, on that particular day itself, it was told, I think 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the day in the social media, that we are trying to nab Umar and we will nab him. But the point is 80 kilometers or 70 kilometers starting from Faridabad, all across nearly 50-55 cameras, all across the capital of this country. None of the cameras could recognize him. None of the cameras could even catch the number plate. And when this same car is idling, because we were not on red alert, we were not at least in the intelligence agencies. And finally the incident happened as it happened. Now this corruption part I think you
Mr.
are talking
Sahai,
about.
I'd just like to interrupt you. I'll address this breaking news for our viewers and come back to both my guests. Now, in breaking news, Soyab of Dhauj, Faridabad, Haryana, who's the 7th accused to be arrested in the Delhi terror bomb blast, is being produced in the NIA court. NIA investigations have revealed that he has also provided logistical support to the terrorist Umar before the 10th November car bombing that killed several persons and injured many others outside the Red Fort in the national capital. And now, of course, Mr. Sahai, I'd like you to complete your thought and then I'll go to Major General Sivaj.
See, what I'm telling you precisely is that you are talking about the corrupt ecosystem. Now, there is one component which is actually involved in the terror network or terror factory, and they have their clear-cut job descriptions. Those job descriptions are adding up into whatever is happening in this white-collar module. That is adding up into whatever is being handled from Pakistan. So all those things are happening, but this is one part of the fertile ground radicalization and what they intend to achieve. What is more sinister is what is happening on a day-to-day basis, where these people are unaware of the fact that terrorists can infiltrate in a manner which is unimaginable. And that is manipulating the land records, that is manipulating your lockers, that is manipulating this whole ecosystem. Even the background verification of tenants are not happening. So literally the civil administration and the police administration of that particular place, I will not say that they have been caught napping. I would go to the extent of saying they literally ceased to exist, but for doing very routine mechanical enforcement stuff which can be seen by superficial eyes, but for that absolutely no enforcement was happening as far as AlFalah and 20-30 kilometers all around AlFalah from where all these things are tumbling down.
Major General A.K. Sivaj, now these are open criminal networks. We've talked about NU and parts of Faridabad, but many other such centers are spread out across India, especially parts of like Kerala, for example, where a thriving narcotics trade combines with strong radical ideologies. What would you like to say?
Very correct, Vaishali. As far as the south part is concerned, the southern part of the country, the ISIS has become very, very alert there. You know, radicalization take through social media, and you find that a number of modules have emerged in the southern part of the country of Islamic State as well as Al Qaeda, and that was a cause of concern. But one can say that as far as the police in the southern part is concerned, they have been active. They have able to nab and they have able to expose this module, and they are trying their best. Now, as far as this present case in AlFalah University is concerned, I agree with the DGP that, you know, somewhere we have gone wrong. In the sense, why did we not, AlFalah was not on radar? The Mewat region is also full of all this, you can say, necrotic problems, not only now, earlier also drugs flowing and land also been misused. This should have been on the radar of intelligence. Now, one main thing which we also like to say, having served for about 25 to 30 years in Kashmir Valley, we have managed to bring terrorism to a manageable level. There are only about 60-70 terrorists left. The leadership of Lashkar-e-Toba, Jaise Mohammed, is by and large wiped out. But what I have not been able to succeed in doing is radicalization. In southern part of the Kashmir, radicalization do taking place. Now, if you find that all these modules which are functioning here, they are somewhere connected with also Kashmir Valley. You find that there, certain people, something like
Major
Wani,
General
Rashid,
Sivaj, please hold that thought. I'll come back to you. I'll address this breaking news and come back to you right away. Now, according to information from sources, Shoaib helped terrorist Umar transport his belongings. Shoaib rented a room for terrorist Umar in his sister-in-law Sana's house in Nu and secured full security. 10 days before the November 10 blast near Delhi's Red Fort, Umar stayed at a house in Nu, Mewat, and on the day of the blast, he left for Delhi from Nu. After taking Shoaib on remand, the Central Investigating Agency, the NIA, will also bring him to AlFalah University and the house in Nu where Umar was staying. I have my colleague Arzu Said joining me with more details. Arzu, what more can you tell us about this big breaking development?
Definitely, we're getting to know from our sources that Shoaib has assisted terrorist Umar in transporting counting his belongings, and also the investigation has revealed, learned that it was Shoaib who arranged a rented room for Umar at the house of his sister-in-law Afsana in Nu, and also took full responsibility for him. Also, what we are getting to know that Umar stayed at his house in Nu for around 10 days before the 10th November blast near the Delhi's Red Fort. And on the day of the explosion, Umar is believed to have traveled from Delhi directly from the Nu. And also, after obtaining Shoaib's custody, the NIA is expected to take him to the AlFalah University as the part of the investigation, as well as to the new residence where Umar had stayed. So there are a lot of important information that are coming in. What our sources are telling us that Shoaib has been supporting Umar, during this planning of the attack in the national capital, and NIA will also be taking to these accused to the places of where the preparation was going on, where these Umar had stayed, and these visits are aimed at reconstructing the accused movements and verifying the support network that that led to the terror attack, and also to find out how many people are still connected or there in this terror module. Yes.
Arzu, stay on with me. I'll come back to you. And now I want to go across to Major General Sivaj. Major General, I'd like you to please complete your thought. We were talking earlier before this breaking news came in.
And that is a cause of concern. And you find that this radicalization which are taking place in southern part of Kashmir Valley, it has got now roots come down to even in Haryana and Uttar Pradesh. They are all linked. And you will find it that when the complete module will be exposed by the NIA, it will be quite disturbing. But having said so, as far as this case is concerned, no, the Mewat region is where you find drugs as well as ammonia nitrate. You could take 3 tons of ammonia nitrate. No one suspected, though of course they have not taken in bulk. But then they were doctors. How it has happened? How come the police was totally, not able to handle it or not able to know any information about it? Second thing is, this is also not known as to how ammonia nitrate, the ID, he could detonate. Was it a detonator? Or is it a TATP, which is another mixture? If you mix with ammonia nitrate, it can blast off. That is what is being told. How far it is true, the only NIA investigation will find. But whatever is being now exposed is very disturbing. And it is disturbing because you find one after the other that doctors have been caught from AlFalah University, also the administrative staff like compounder, the way he has taken Umar Nabi to Nu and then given him all the logistic support and also given him also possibly explosive and all, and thereafter he managed to blast himself in front of the Red Fort and create a casualty, more than 12 people. But one thing is very clear, this is a new type of challenge which we are now facing it. We have to uncover it, learn lessons from it, and make sure
Major
in future
General Sivaj, I'll come
action.
back to you. I have some breaking news coming in. An investigation by the Central Investigating Agency, the NIA, revealed that phone chats between Adil and Umar Nabi revealed who provided assistance to the terrorists before the blast, including how many local ground workers were present. Shoaib's name repeatedly surfaced in the chats conducted by the investigating agency. Agency sources believe that Shoaib provided Umar Nabi with a safe location, logistical support and aided his escape. The investigation also revealed that Shoaib hid Umar in his home, supplied him with explosives and provided him with safe routes. Call details and location data have revealed several important connections. After questioning Shoaib, the Central Investigating Agency will reach out to local ground workers in the area around AlFalah University. And now, of course, I want to go across to Mr. Sanjay Sahai, who's a former IPS officer. Now, Mr. Sahai, now all eyes are on the NIA currently. How do you see the investigation proceeding?
Most important part which the NIA would be attending to undeniably is the whole arsenal of digital evidence which is available to them. And even the Shoaib arrest, I think it is a part of the digital evidence which is available to them. So first and foremost, a complete, detailed, technical study using artificial intelligence crawlers and variety of big data analytics, call detailed analytics, GPS, open source intelligence, all combined will give you facts, will give you patterns, provide you the connections, will provide you the timelines, will provide you the location. So that is primarily how complex investigations happen, to give you the line of direction or the first clues. So first clue started coming, say 15, 20 hours or 24 hours after the Delhi bomb blast. And since then, most of what has been happening is based on primarily starting with the circumstantial evidence and then huge amount of digital evidence pulling in. It has come through your mobile phones, it has come through servers, it has come through telecommunication. There's a variety of things because today 98% of all communication primarily happens through digital communication, and on that the physical thing and laying their hands on AlFalah University. Now there are two places where I think the stockpile of evidence lies. One is the AlFalah University, from where this human resource handler and variety of other things. So that network will come into existence. The second is wherever we have missed out on the intel part of it, that needs to be recreated. There's absolutely no doubt about it. And third is the digital evidence, which is throwing up huge amounts of connects, huge amount of patterns and huge amount of clear-cut clues. All these things need to add up into a very, very clear-cut chart sheet. What is of critical importance besides the investigation of this case is that nothing should happen in the transitory period. So while
Mr.
the
Soyab,
investigation
please hold
is
that
on,
thought. I'll come back to you in just a minute. Now, an underground madrasa located just 900 meters from the AlFalah University has come under the scanner of the investigating agencies, probing irregularities and terror links to the institution in connection with the Delhi blast. The madrasa is located in a completely isolated area near a village in Dhoj, Faridabad, spread over 4,000 to 5,000 square feet. The madrasa's unusual construction, about 7 feet below the ground level, is what has drawn the focus of the agencies. Only a small 3 feet structure of the madrasa is visible above the ground. The walls are very thick, with platform-like structures running around the entire underground section. The design doesn't match a normal madrasa, and according to investigators, the property is registered under the name of Maulana Ishtiyaq, who'd earlier rented a room to Muzammil Shakil, one of the associates of terror Umar Nabi, the suicide bomber who set off the blast near Red Fort on November 10. And after questioning Shoaib, the central investigating agency will reach out to local ground workers in the area around AlFalah University. Many secrets will be revealed regarding the Delhi blast. As per reports, investigation, how Shoaib provided logistical support and how Umar executed the white-collar terror blast from his residence. I have Arzu Seth joining me with more details. Arzu, what more can you tell us?
Well, in a major development in the 10-11 Delhi terror attack probe, police have located a suspicious underground madrasa near the AlFalah University in Faridabad, and the structure is under construction on a 200-yard plot around 2 kilometers away from the university. The police has launched an investigation on Saturday after noticing the unusual 4 to 5 feet thick basement walls of the madrasa, which goes above the standard measure of residential or the educational building, typically having walls only about 9 inches thick. This construction raised serious questions about the purpose behind such heavy reinforcement, and also the investigating agencies have also visited the site, questioned nearby resident. Also, what we're getting to know from our sources that official believes that the massive structure is not consistent with the regular madrasa or educational setup, suggesting that it is to conceal explosive and carry out terrorist activities, prompting a deeper probe. So now the madrasa is also under investigation. The police, the security forces are investigating the purpose behind this unusual madrasa that was built in Faridabad. The property is registered under the name of the Maulvi Ishtiyaq, who had earlier rented a room to Delhi Red Fort blast, accused Dr. Muzammil, and was later interrogated following Muzammil's arrest. So investigators have also uncovered the equipments used for the construction of the madrasa was arranged
Arzu, thanks for joining me with those details. I want to go across to my guest, Major General A.K. Sivaj. Now, Major General Sivaj, of course, an underground madrasa is now under the scanner, and it was located 900 meters under AlFalah University. What would you like to say on that?
You know, it is very surprisingly that now things are getting revealed because AlFalah University is under scanner. Had it not been a scanner, then you would have not known also that there is something like this. A madrasa is coming very close to it. And the way it has been described by our journalist, it gives an indication as if this is less of a madrasa and maybe used for other terrorist activity. So one has to investigate it. In fact, this complete area must be kept under scanner, and now investigation must be carried out, and you find that even this red fort, this white collar module ecosystem, this once it will be revealed, you will find that it is going to be a Herculean task for the government as well as the police to find out who is who, because the way things are happening, it is very, very surprising. And one can say one thing, let's say this red fort incident has taken place, and that is the time when you start investigating. You did not know there was AlFalah University, there is a Mujamil, there is Adil, there is Shaheen, there is Rashid, there is Wani. But in this case, they were already under the scanner, they were arrested, and we could not arrest Umar Nabi. And in the meantime, he managed to escape, and thereafter all these modules have helped him, like Shoaib, and then he managed to blast himself and create casualties. So this is very puzzling. This 10 days, I'm sure we have that sort of facility and capability of our agencies, also local police. You know, there are mechanisms to arrest a chap. We are far better than what we managed
Major
to do.
General Sivaj, we're running out of time, but I'd like to thank both my guests for joining me on the broadcast. And that's it. That's a wrap, viewers, on this debate. Thank you so much for watching.